Rebecca got called up for the playoffs for varsity, and they lost to South in the section final, I think, or maybe North. I can't remember.
I think it was North.
Maybe it was North. I think it was North. But they liked them. They said like they played more, like they did more soccer.
So you're getting tested tomorrow for mono, or like the
follow-up? I got blood work yesterday, so that will see if like my liver stuff is like still elevated, but like. Because when I had it originally...
Why is mono so deadly?
It's so stupid. It's the worst disease.
I thought it was just like a sore throat.
Some people it is. Some people literally it's like a cough and a sore throat for like a couple days and then you're done. Other people I know, like my dad had it his sophomore year of college. Like he couldn't do anything for like a month. Mine was like a week and a half, 2 weeks, but like it's still like I'm still recovering. Like knees hurting, like everything is just like sore.
I've had people out for a month or two with mono.
I know. It's brutal.
And you haven't been able to like barely run or touch a ball.
No.
And then when does your preseason start?
Well, go back Tuesday and like we start like the RNY league, which is like on our own.
Right.
And then we have like futsal 2 times a week.
Is that player setup?
Yeah, that's player setup. I set it up for the team. We just had to like.
You set up the league, or
I
just set up your
for
team?
For our team, basically, like I had to make sure everyone was registered. Everyone had to register, then split the team in 2.
Yep.
And then just like make.
And there's all the colleges in Rochester, basically.
Yeah, so there's 3 Fisher teams because Fisher just has a massive roster.
It's like Mercyhurst. It's
like
48 kids.
Yes. So Fisher has 3 teams. Geneseo has 1. RIT has 2. The Finger Lakes Community College has 2.
You said it's 9v9?
Yeah.
How many teams do you guys have? 2?
2. So each team has 6 games and 1 bye.
Do you guys get to play each other?
No, that's the one thing.
You guys try to set like.
We don't get to set it up. The RNY guys, like the RNY, like so whoever does it, he just sets up the calendar. And so.
Is your coach doing anything at RNY? He's not, right?
Yeah, he is. He's the pre-academy. He's the pre-academy coach.
Ben is?
Yeah. Like the futsal event I worked over the weekend, he was there coaching.
How'd that go?
It was long, 28 hours.
28 hours?
Over 2 days. It was me and AJ got there at 8 a.m. on Saturday. Left around. We worked 14 hours that day. We worked 14 each day, pretty much. It was like 8 to 10.
I mean, you're not a child anymore, but that's like child labor laws.
Then the next day was I went home because AJ was going to the Bills game on Sunday. So I drove myself on Sunday, and that was brutal. It was a 5 a.m. wake up. I had to be there at 7. It was 7 to 9. Then I stayed over in Rochester, luckily, and I came back Monday. But it was a lot, 28 hours. It was, and I was like in charge of like getting the scorecards from each game, calculating the standings. And I walked like 13 miles each day. It was crazy, but I enjoyed it. I don't know. It was a lot of pressure.
Sounds like a lot of teams to have that many hours.
A lot of teams. It was like I would say like from like 2015 boys and girls up until like varsity boys and girls.
Is this an RNY event?
It's not an RNY event. It's run by Paul Valenti, who is the push yourself. It's like a push yourself futsal tournament. Yeah, DTRT.
DTRT.
But
do the right thing.
Most of the RNY teams do it. Like almost all of them, I would say.
What else is he doing these days?
Pickleball. Like that's it. He runs
at his barn.
Like he does so much with pickleball. It's actually crazy. Because I don't know if he still teaches or not. He was a teacher, but he does so much with pickleball.
What was in his barn?
It was
just like a basketball.
Well, because we always went to his house for
the lock-in
over the summer. And when we went the one year, I think it was my U15 year because it was before COVID.
Yeah.
And the barn was just open for like basketball and stuff. People could just shoot around. I think he converted it into, there's still basketball hoops, but he made it into like a pickleball like court.
Those lock-in camps, you guys was really just like to kick off the season.
Yeah.
You guys would all sleep in the facility or at PV's barn.
Yep.
But then you guys did fitness in the morning.
That was 1 year.
Did you guys sleep at all?
I mean, you slept a little bit, but like.
Because I remember going to lock-ins like through church growing up, and we didn't sleep. We would just like play basketball. We would play video games. We'd do all kinds of stuff.
we would like do some like team building stuff. We always did like lip syncing contests, split into teams.
Jesus.
It was wild. And then they get to bed, and then I don't remember if we knew we were getting up early, but they woke us up. It was our U15 year, like around like 6:30.
Yeah, didn't everybody like puke?
We went to Cobb's Hill. It was like this like big hill in Rochester, and we did like this running, like burpees, a bunch of stuff like throughout like the morning. It was like a circuit, and like Tanky was throwing up at the end. A lot of like it was crazy. And then we bust back, and then I think we trained.
That's insane.
Yeah,
because I was thinking about like last summer when you and AJ and Ben were always around. I was thinking I wanted to have this conversation because I want to do something here with a lock-in like format. Because I mean, we have the turf obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would do it. I would have to get like a projector. For like movies,
they get
video
projectors.
games,
They have a projector.
I'd have to I don't know. I would need help on that.
Well,
without the fitness.
Yeah. Well, everyone brought like blow beds and stuff or sleeping bags because no one wants to.
And then they just slept on the turf.
I refused to sleep on that turf. Oh my god. I just did the blow bed.
Yeah. So one thing that I admire. How much did that help with like team building and program building? Because it was all the teams, right?
Every single team, pretty much.
All the
the
MLS next teams.
Well, the lock-ins at the facility happened every year. The PV stuff was like that only happened one year for me. I don't know if they still do it or not. I could be wrong.
I think they still do the lock-in.
The lock-in at the facilities they still do.
Yeah,
they still do that. They do it twice over the summer.
Okay.
And they do it so.
Don't they go out to like one of the amusement parks too now?
Yeah. That's another like team building thing. We do a lot of stuff like that throughout the summer. But the lock-ins, it's like you train. It's like over the summer, so it'd be like a Wednesday or like a Tuesday. So like Tuesday night you would train.
Yep.
Stay over, and then Wednesday morning we would do like what I remember. You did like smaller stuff, like we did a lot of set piece stuff, like tactical stuff. Then like chill, and then Wednesday afternoon it would be like an overload, just like play 11s, like play all the time, and then you would leave Wednesday. But I'd say it was good for team building and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like you just need to be like connected with your team.
One thing that I always admired, because remember when it would be like, I'd be training you and Ben and AJ, and then like Maddie would walk in, and you knew who he was.
Oh,
and
from
RNYFC, you guys all know each other.
Yeah, all the teams are like intertwined because like some players just play up like Brandon McDermott's brother Logan up like sometimes plays up like 3 age groups. Like people move around so much, and like you do like a lot of I don't know, some like tactical stuff you do as like a whole group, like all 4 age groups where most people just know each other from everywhere.
And compared to Flash, like the girls, like I would have some like the 04s, and then the 05s would walk in after, and they don't say a word to them.
Yeah,
they didn't even exist. It's like
the way that
standoffish.
RNY does it, well, from what I remember, is usually the 15s, 16s train together, and the 17s, 19s do a lot of stuff together. Like we'll either do like 19s versus 17s, whatever we're doing, whatever drill, or we'll mix the teams, but you're usually with the age group that's like next to you a lot.
Got it. Do you miss that? Do you miss that and that grind at all, or are you like pretty happy where you are? I know you're happy where you are, but
I mean, it was a lot. I mean, but I liked it. I mean,
yeah, you loved it.
I had a good group of friends. Had like, I don't know, you're always like working to, like, just be better and stuff. And I don't know, I enjoyed it, even though it was a lot. Like an hour drive, 3 or 4 days a week is like obviously torture sometimes, but I don't know, like you get a lot of life lessons and stuff from it. So,
and I've said this before, I said it with like Max 2 years ago, that I feel like you guys are more prepared to go into your freshman year than the Flash ECNL girls, and it's because of your time management.
Yeah, no,
you would leave your house at like 3 and not get back until 11. So in that time span, you have to obviously drive there. You'd have to do your homework. You do a lift and you train, and then you on the ride home. Yeah, and you have to like schedule. Well, mostly your parents.
Yeah.
Would schedule like the like the carpools and everything.
Exactly.
But then your senior year, wasn't it just you driving out there?
It was, well.
Or you and AJ?
My carpool situation was brutal. Like, my first year, I was with, like, Connor Moran, Tyler Moran, Kyle, like, and then the next year, I think, like, Connor, like, tore his ACL. He was done, and then I was, like,
Is that number 1, number 2,
I don't
number
even
3?
know, dude. It's too many.
Poor kid.
Yeah, and then I joined, who did I join? Then I was with, like, Ben, Colin, and, like, no, Paul didn't do it. I was with Ben and Colin for a little bit.
Okay.
Then they left. The U16 year.
Colin went to Flash, and then Ben went to Shaddix.
So then I was kind of. Then I was with then I did AJ and like Noah Morelli a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I was also with Kyle, but then Kyle like broke his foot at the end of one year.
Just basically stopped training, and then that's when it was just you.
Then it was just like me, and then that was hard.
Did you ever drive yourself your senior year?
Or over
your
the
parents
weekend,
still drive?
On like the weekends and weekdays, I would do it, but weekdays it's hard because like usually like every single time I sleep there and I do work on the way back, and because like I'm so tired, and my parents knew if I drove myself it would not be good, so they just did it a lot.
Yeah. So the D3 level,
mm-hmm.
What did you? Because I remember you messaged me your freshman year, you're a sophomore now.
Mm-hmm.
You messaged me like, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit like less about the soccer and definitely more about the school.
Mm-hmm.
Is that now 2 years in? Do you still feel that same way?
Yeah, I would say it depends on the way you play and who you're playing. Like, I would say the way we played against like Clarkson and Geneseo differed than the way we played against Chicago and like Carnegie Mellon, for example. Like the UAA schools are very good.
Yeah.
Like Chicago is like a really hard team to play and very talented.
Right.
But the way we played this year was, I don't know, it felt like smooth and it felt more like we were playing than we did our first year. Right. But it's crazy to say that, but like
Ben.
Because Cross.
How much of that was because of Cross?
Oh, a lot more because of Cross. And what we did our freshman year with Apple, like, it wasn't bad. We made the tournament. Yeah. We didn't make the tournament with Cross. We made the tournament with Apple. It was just different. It was just like different type of soccer, and we just had to like.
What's Apple doing now? Just RNY stuff?
I don't know. I think he does like upper level stuff with RNY.
Yeah, he kind of like is like the director of the whole thing.
He does. He still works for the university. I think he does stuff
like maybe like in a like
I don't know what's
or something
I don't know
athletic department.
I think he does a lot with alumni and stuff like that.
Okay.
He travels like for like coaching meetings throughout the country. Because I'm friends with his son. His son is one of my close friends at college. So.
Okay. Is he?
He's a sophomore.
Is he on the team?
No, he's not on the team.
He's not a soccer.
No.
Did he play soccer growing up?
Yeah, for like RNY.
Oh, for RNY
like a youth, and then it wasn't for him. So
you were talking about coaching last time. Who? It was the athletic director's son. What was that?
Oh, like
Who wants you to coach
Yeah,
out there?
so the basketball coach.
His son.
When I coached at the U of R youth camp over the summer, both years he was there. And he was like the youngest kid in the first year. He was like 6 years old, 7. So I was with that group, and I was working with him, and he loved it. And then I was talking with the coach a lot. And then this year I wasn't with him, but I saw him a lot. I was with a different age group, and then after Cross asked me like, do you want to like assistant coach in the spring, like with like the Pittsburgh Mustangs or something, like a youth club? I was like, I got to think about it. Like I would like to, like it's a good experience, but. It's just like it would be hard with like finding a car.
Yeah, you have no car right now.
Yeah. So that's like the hard part, but I would obviously want to do that. I like that stuff.
How big is U of R? What's
it's like a 6,000 undergrad, I would say. So it's not that big. But
how many are athletes? Not all of them.
No, not all of them.
It's not like some of these schools where it's all athletes, like Mercyhurst.
No. I mean, we have a football team that's pretty big, like 100.
Yeah.
But then like whatever soccer teams, like 30 each, and then you have baseball and softball, which is like, I don't know, maybe like.
Who's in your conference?
For the UA.
No. Well, yeah.
Like for soccer.
Is that your conference?
Yeah, the UAA. The UAA. So
UAA.
U of R has two. So like men's soccer, women's soccer, volleyball, men's basketball, women's basketball are all in the UAA.
Yeah.
And those schools are U of R, Carnegie Mellon, Case Western, NYU Brandeis, Emory, which is in Atlanta, and U Chicago. What? So yeah, we go all over. We had to fly to.
So from Atlanta to Chicago is your conference. Holy.
Yeah, so we fly. The ones we fly to are and Wash U in St. Louis. We fly to Wash U, we fly to U Chicago, and we fly to Emory. The other ones are just our drives.
How's that St. Louis team?
They're not bad. They were pretty good this year and last year, but we did well against them this year.
You guys did well overall.
Yeah, we did decent. We were like one game away from getting in. We tied our last game against Emory 1-1. Gave up a goal in like the 88th minute. But even if we won that, we were looking, but like we wouldn't have gotten in because Buff State was the last at-large team, and we would have still been below them, which is kind of crazy. But we dropped points against Clarkson, dropped points against Brockport. It's like those small games that like you may think like, oh, like we can like win this. It's not that important. Like every game matters. Like
get the tournament.
Exactly. But and also the UA didn't do that well this year, like strength of schedule wise, which is also a reason like. A win against...
That's why Buff State got that at large.
Exactly. A win against... Like, we won against Case Western.
Okay.
But Case Western wasn't, like, doing that well during the season. So, like, the win didn't do as much as, like, a NESCAC team that beats Middlebury or, like, ties Middlebury gets a massive bump because every NESCAC team was doing really good. Right. Like, out of conference. Whereas DUA out of conference wasn't doing, like, that well.
Yeah. And... what was the biggest change from like Apple to Cross?
We changed.
Where was Cross right before?
He was with FC Dallas, assistant coach.
He was FC Dallas with the full team.
With the full team.
With the MLS team.
Yeah, and he was also with Crew before that with the full team.
Did he just want to come home? Is that one of the things?
I don't know. Because he played at U of R under Apple.
Right. He played at U of R, and then he coached at RNY for a bit before he was
was RNY. Like academy coach. He was like the U19, U18, U19, then moved to...
What year?
I don't know when it was.
Because didn't he coach like Max at one point? Max's age group?
I'm not sure.
A little bit older.
All I know is when he moved to Crew, he won the MLS championship.
Yeah, with Berhalter, right?
Yeah, and then he moved to FC Dallas. And then I think...
his coaching trees, or who he's worked with.
Oh, it's crazy.
Who was the head coach in FC Dallas? Wolf?
I have no idea.
I think it was Wolf, right? Because Wolf's son was at Crew when Kyle was at Crew.
Really?
I think so. And then I think they went down together. I think.
Well, then I think Cross probably heard that Apple was retiring. And he was like, okay, like I can get like a stable, like I can move back with my family. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. I have no idea. But so is
his wife from here? From around here?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think they have two girls.
Okay.
But then now they're here, and I don't know. I feel like the one thing that changed, we changed our system a bit to like a 3-back.
Yeah.
We played
the
more
wing backs.
Played more through the middle. I would say he was really like prone on like going in to out to in. Like like we barely used our midfielders last year. And our midfielders are our strengths.
How so? Like being direct?
Like like if our center backs got the ball, it would be majority look to the second line. Yeah, look to the second line instead of. Or like farther lines instead of looking at our midfielders where, I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
How much possession in that 3-back system, how much possession would you guys normally have? In game to game? Would you guys have more possession?
I would say so. Against all the non-conference teams, I would say we had majority of the possession by a decent bit.
Okay.
The UAA teams, it was... I mean, all the teams are kind of good. It was kind of like a split, I would say. But I would say we had a lot of the ball in most games.
Because I think you have to in that formation. You have to have the ball. No, otherwise, your wing backs are going to die.
They're flying. I know.
And you have to sub them all the time.
That was the most sub position we had. We had a big rotation going with our wing backs. I mean, our coach made it clear like you just run as hard as you can, and then you get subbed. That's just how we did it.
And you're playing. What are you playing? Left center back?
I played. I trained as the center back.
Right.
And then like from preseason until like where the Geneseo game was like sixth game, maybe seventh. Yeah. And then I played the right center back and left center back, and I was kind of rotating between that for all the games forward.
And then next year you're going to be center back.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
But you want that, right?
I don't know. I'm fine with both. I like instigating in the center. I'm also fine on the right or the left. I don't know. I don't really have a preference, to be honest.
What were you your freshman year? Like wing back. You were one of the. Well, you guys didn't play that formation.
We played like a 4. We played like an outside. We played like a 4-4-2.
Yep. And I played outside back.
One game, her second game, I subbed in as like a left back. I almost scored that game. Remember I said that? That was crazy. And then I played a little midfield, which was like the 6-8.
But you played at RNY towards the end.
I played 1 or 2 games at the 6.
How'd you like that?
It's not bad.
How was it at the Rochester level? How?
It's hard. It's hard. Well, the thing is, I came in at preseason. Coach was playing me at midfield, at center mid. Like throughout preseason and into the season, I was playing center mid. And then I think I had like a meeting with him or something.
Yeah.
I just wanted like just to talk to him, and he was like I could see like you're obviously like a good in the middle, but like your strengths, like you talk, like you're better in the back. So then I started practicing as like the center back, and then that was basically it the rest of the time.
Yeah. I mean, you've always been a leader. You've always been the one that's always communicating.
Yeah.
Do you know what's happening with captains or anything like that?
I have no idea.
Do you guys have
We
captains?
had like a leadership
group
thing. They had like 6 guys that were just lead throughout the spring.
How many are on your roster?
I think around like with our seniors we have around like 30, 31.
And you guys don't have that.
We don't have the roster cut.
You don't have the roster cut.
No,
which is good. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the trickle down is going to be.
Exactly.
I talked about that with Ella and a few others. It's going to it's going to raise the level
of D3,
of D2 and D3.
Yeah, because all the D1 guys that are going to get cut or transfers that can't get into D1 schools will go down and down and down. So
because the international thing is not going away.
Oh no.
How many internationals do you have?
We have like, I would say around 6 or 7.
Okay, that's not that bad.
It's not. We have a kid from Japan, kid from Poland, Venezuela, Serbia.
Yeah.
So we have like all over the place.
Venezuela.
Argentina.
Who recruited him? Apple or
These were all Apple. All the kids that are international on our team were all Apple.
Okay.
And then this next recruiting class is like mainly cross.
Really? Mm-hmm. So I wonder how many kids he's bringing in.
We're bringing in 8. 8 if all of them get in.
And you don't do like the B team thing, right?
No, we don't have that. We don't have like an A team, B team thing.
Okay, because I mean the whole Mercyhurst.
I don't like the A team, B team thing.
The whole Mercy thing is awful. But then on the girls' side at Mercyhurst, they move players up and down.
Yeah.
Where they like you can make a travel roster or you're going to be on the B team this week.
Yeah.
And they all train together.
It's so weird.
Whereas you talk to Griffin and like they're so checked out. I haven't talked to Colin, and Colin's mad at me. But but dude, yeah, because I'm on this shit list because we didn't do any pickups.
He's mad. Wait, he's mad that
Colin is mad that we didn't do any college pickups this winter.
Haven't there been college pickups?
No, I mean like Sam is saying
running. Like you do.
Yeah, he's mad because I don't know. I'll get back into it this summer.
Colin loves a good pickup.
Yeah,
he loves throwing his face on the line.
Jesus. But I mean, do you know how many MLS Next guys are on your D3 level, like in the UAA conference? A lot? Do you see guys all the time?
I see some guys that I've played against. Not a ton.
Yeah.
I've seen like a couple from different teams, but like I know like by class, we recruited I think we had 9 in our recruiting class, and we had 4 from MLS Next. I would say The sophomore class had like, I think 1.
Really?
So I would say there's like a decent, not a lot. I would say like a smaller majority.
Ben always brings it up. He's
But
like,
I think it will go up. I think the amount of MLS snakes being recruited will go up.
Yep. Especially if it's 28. There's going to be some rosters like Marshall is going to be 28 internationals.
Oh, yeah. No, it's insane.
Ben always brings it up that out of Buffalo, not RNY or Rochester, but the Buffalo area, out of their class, out of your class, 05s, there's only 4 Division I college soccer players.
AJ, Ben.
Who are the other 2? I don't even. I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, wait.
Noah. No, he's younger.
He said Noah.
He said Noah's a year younger.
He is 06.
He's at Lemoyne, but he's a year younger. I honestly can't think of anyone else.
And then technically Colin.
Oh, because Mercyhurst, yeah.
Yeah, Mercyhurst D1.
So you have three kids.
So,
it's kind of, and I feel like it's gonna be like, I don't know. I feel like it won't change.
It's gonna get worse.
I feel like it's not because like you don't have any 06 boys, right? Like you don't have.
I do not train any 06 boys
that's what
in
I'm
here.
saying.
I have a couple 07s, but the 07s that I had that trained or that were at RNY, they all left. And they went to Flash, or they're not playing anymore.
FC Buffalo. There were a lot of FC Buffalo teams at the futsal thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That one kid.
Grayson.
Grayson
was there.
Mm-hmm. And the girls like Allie, like
Rebecca's
age, they were there. So
good. How did they look? Grayson's like.
Some FC Buffalo
Grayson's
teams
legit.
did good. I don't know if none of the. I think one FC Buffalo team won out of the age groups.
It was probably Grayson's team.
Probably. I don't really remember.
They train here on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, I know Grayson's good.
He's very good.
Yeah.
They were contemplating RNY, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. He gets some opportunities to go and train with some MLS academies.
Really?
So they're pretty happy with the opportunities he's been given.
Yeah.
So just stay there if you're happy with the coach and you like the coach.
Yeah.
Until, when did you go to RNY? When you were U13?
No, they didn't. When I went, there wasn't a U13 team. They added the U13, U14 when I was like a U17.
Okay.
So like when I went, I did the pre-academy when I was a U13, U14.
Yep.
Those were like
that was like the Saturday morning.
Those were like the
stuff.
Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were like 3 5-6 week programs or something throughout the year.
Yeah, they still do those.
They still do that, and but now there's a U13. Now there's U13, U14. For me, I just went right into U15.
Right into U15.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when Colin and Ben and
that was all? Yeah, like I did pre-academy with them.
I guess that's when AJ went too.
And then because we
started came from GPS.
Exactly, like when we were U14s and we were with the pre-academy. Like I remember Tanky had us, or whoever was the coach at the time. Like we went and practiced with the 15s like some days throughout the week, and then it was like a smooth transition to the 15s.
How structured is Rochester versus RNY in terms of play and build out and breaking down the opponent?
I would say it's similar. We didn't do like
same terminology and everything too.
And not really.
Ben's a little bit different.
Yeah. But RNY I would say more. Like we did a lot more build up stuff, a lot more press tactical stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we didn't do that for Rochester, but like. We didn't train it as much, like we talked about it, but like build up, for example, was like we either practice it during the week because we had a specific plan, or it was like if they're gonna back off, then play. But if they're not gonna back off, just hit it up and in. Like we weren't gonna. Whereas RNY, most of the time we would try to play out of almost everything.
How much film work does Ben do?
A lot, way more than what we did our first year. After every game, either the day before a game or 2 days before a game, we would watch film from the previous game. So
of you or your opponent?
Of us. So we would watch clips of us, good and bad, from the previous game.
So he mixes it. It's good and bad.
And then we would transition into clips from the team we're about to play and how what we did in our previous game can relate to what we're about to do in the next game.
Does he break down like a lot of like set pieces and stuff like that they do of
Yeah,
okay, this is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, like if they have a zone defense, how we're going to attack it. If they have a man-to-man, what we're going to do. If they attack in a certain way, how are we going to defend it? So we go through that a lot. Film is one thing we do, and he does a lot of individual stuff. He'll either call you in for a meeting, like if he wants to show you some individual clips that he didn't show in the big meeting.
Okay.
Or if you want a meeting at any time, you ask. But we also do like a wellness survey every single week where you put in like 1 to 5, how you're doing academically, how sore are you, like mentally, how are you? And then at the end, it's like, do you want to have a meeting with the coach, yes or no? And he does that like me every week after a game.
Is it like a hard copy, like piece of paper,
it's
or
it's
is
a
it
Google,
on an
Google
app?
form? Google form.
Love it. That's what Ella always talks about that at Nebraska, and it's amazing how hearing all these different coaches, how many do this and how many don't do this.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, how many individual sessions did you have with Ben? Was AC there too, or was it just Ben?
Some AC and Shreb were there, and some they weren't.
Who's the second assistant? Who's the other assistant?
Coach Shreb. He came from Cortland, and this is going to be his third or fourth year.
Is that where Sam is?
Yeah,
Cortland?
Sam's at Cortland.
Okay.
But I would say I had around 3, maybe 4 meetings total.
Okay, and they would break up individual clips and
just talk about how you're doing. Like just like if you wanted to talk, if you're not getting minutes, if like what I have to do to like be better, or just stuff like that.
Yeah. Anything that you got ripped for?
One game.
Other than that one game.
Yeah. No, there was and I had a couple clips in our Brandeis game that weren't great that I actually showed him because he's like, meet with me and then come with clips. So I prepared clips to show Cross.
What's your video system? Is it VO?
Huddle.
Okay, good.
RNY we used VO.
So I've been telling everybody. So you didn't even make a highlight tape to go to Rochester.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I had a highlight video.
But Apple already knew you.
Yeah, it was a little. I mean, it was actually interesting. Like U of R, they like emailed me a couple times, like the assistant coach, and
you weren't even thinking about
U
of R.
like disregard. I don't know why. I guess like everyone in their mind is like, oh, D1, I'm gonna go to this big school. Like when you're younger, I feel like that's everyone.
Yep.
And then as you get older, you realize like some people it will happen to. Like you're gonna go D1, and some people it's just not, and you just have to realize like what's best for you. So like I was just totally like ignoring the emails, and then I think after U17 showcase in Dallas, I got an email from Apple, and then I went on a visit. I loved the school, and that was it. Yeah. Literally, like I didn't even think about it, and then one visit, and I loved it. So,
yeah. And then the rest is history.
Exactly.
But I mean, going back to like the individual relationship that you have with Cross, because you didn't know Cross when he was here last time.
No, I had.
He was already gone by the time that you went to RNY. So how did that transition go? How many players did you lose because of Apple left, or did everybody pretty much stay? Because everybody
no
knew
one transferred. I don't think anyone transferred.
Everybody knew who he was.
Yeah. I think Cross knew because he's close with all the RNY people, so I think he knew that I played for RNY, like under Rory, under all those people. Yeah. But everyone stayed. No one transferred. He came like midway through our spring season. He actually came while I was still injured. I was still like on crutches. The first day he was there, I was on crutches still, and then he coached us through the end of the spring season, and then.
When did you get off of crutches in the spring?
I was off of crutches, I don't know, a couple weeks before. I would say like 2.5 weeks before I left school. Got off crutches, and I started like doing more like training, like strength training for my knee, agility stuff, just to get myself back.
Were you nervous having him come in and him not seeing you play in that spring?
Yes. Extremely nervous.
So I had this exact conversation with Rosie Bandura, who's at Mercyhurst. She tore her hip labrum, and what I told her to do, because her coach just left to go coach Kaylee at Youngstown State. So what I told Rosie, I was like, look, what you need to do is chop up all of your clips, all of your moments, the good and the bad, and then schedule meetings with your coach. Be like, okay, this I was playing this 6. This is my role, and this is my style of play, and then so that the coach gets to know you.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was like we had end of season meetings.
Okay.
And I still have one. We usually have to write like reflections, how your season went, like your strengths, weaknesses, what you can work on for the next season. And so like I didn't play like at all the spring, like because I came in with a stress fracture too. So like even in the winter, I probably had like 2 or 3 weeks that I was playing soccer in the whole like spring semester. And then he just like said like obviously like I know you've been through a lot this spring semester, like I obviously like don't know a lot about you, like I haven't seen you play, so that's going to be the hard part. And so we'll see in the summer what happens. Just work your tail off, see what happens. And
you did.
Yeah.
And it all worked out.
Yeah.
How many minutes did you average?
Well, I had like 0 for like the first 5 something games.
Okay.
I got like 15 versus Fisher because it was like 4-0. Then Geneseo. So we had 2 games left of non-conference games, 2 or 3. It was like Geneseo and Stevens. Yeah. And I started versus Geneseo, and then I played 90 almost every game after that. So I don't know what I ended up averaging, maybe around like, I don't know what, maybe like 60, 70 without like averaging out the zeros.
You didn't have another injury at the end, did you?
No, I did not. I finished the whole season fine. I had all my injuries freshman. It was a concussion, stress fracture, bone bruise, and a knee.
When Ben came in, you said February last year? He
came in, it was like March 1st or 2nd was his first day, but he started coaching us like mid-March.
So what was his spring like? Like tons and tons of fitness or tons and tons of playing?
It was we did more like playing through the middle drills, like smaller like spaces and stuff like that, like a lot of small side.
So how would he set that up? Like would there be like a box in the midfield that you had to play into before you could go forward and stuff like that?
Like one game I remember his first practice, it was like there were 2 small goals on each side.
Yep. Like counter goals, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like one person in like the zone on each side, and you had to like, it was like we did a lot throughout the season. We did a lot of like 6v6 +2, 4v4 +2, and the +2 were always in the middle. So he like really wanted to use those 2 pivots in the middle. Like almost every possession, any like transition drill to a goal, it was always like you're up a number, to really like hone in on the midfield.
Right. We could talk about that forever.
Yeah.
With you wanting to coach, or think you want to coach?
as like a side, maybe like a side job or something like that. No, definitely.
Yeah, like play.
100%. I would do that.
You need to be a sponge with cross. I feel like just if you like even drills or coaching points or how he schedules things.
Just take it. Yeah.
Just I would get a journal or a notebook and just write things down, because that's one of my biggest regrets. Because I always knew that I wanted to coach, even when I was like 16, maybe a sophomore or junior in high school. And I regret not doing that.
No, that's a good idea.
So, he, from everything that I don't know him, but everything I hear about him is, he's top notch around here.
Well, we're actually, I got the date of the Canisius game, actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. It's in our calendar.
That's spring game, right? Mm-hmm. Did you play them last year?
No, we didn't.
Spring game? Who was your spring season last year?
It was at Hobart, and it was Hobart, Fisher, and Geneseo.
Is it all in one day?
60. Yeah, it was like 3 60-minute games or something like that.
Is that what you're doing this year?
No.
Or you're actually
playing? This year we're playing, March 30th at Canisius, 5 p.m.
March 30th. What?
March 30th. It's a Sunday, at Canisius, 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Okay.
So and that will be a 90-minute game, and then we're gonna try to get a 30th, yeah, and then we're gonna try to get a Canadian team.
What, like Ontario?
I don't have no idea, but.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I played the University of Ontario my freshman year of college, and you go in there, and you're just like, oh, okay, it's a Canadian team, and then It was like we were playing Michigan State. It was so big. It was insane.
Yeah.
I forget where it was. I think it was in maybe London or something. But so you're happy?
Very happy. Great group of friends. Academics are good. So.
Yeah. And you're doing finance?
I'm doing a math major and a financial economics major. Double.
And do you know yet what you want to do? I can't believe you didn't go the doctor route.
Yeah, I know. Everyone says that because both my parents, but I did not. I don't think Gavin wants to do it either.
What about Becca?
I have no idea what she wants to do. She's too young. But I mean, I don't even know. To be honest, I've been talking with advisors and stuff at my school. They're gonna try to connect me with people
for internships and stuff.
But I applied for this UB thing over the summer.
That's right.
Like an externship. It's like it's not one specific company. They like break you off into different things, and
you just hop around, right?
Kind of like that, just to get like a.
Is it like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there?
I have no idea. There's actually a Zoom meeting I'm listening to tomorrow about like an informational session.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'd rather apply to more places, like just in case that doesn't work out or something like that. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Do you want to do like corporate finance, or do you want to do like more personal finance type
I don't know.
stuff?
I actually don't want to like just like obviously, like, if I have to sit behind a desk, that's, like, at the beginning, it'd be fine. But, like, overall, I'd rather, like, work with people and, like, do stuff like that. But
I think personal finance might be that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Be the wave with that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of opportunity in personal finance.
I know. There's so many, like, side routes and professions that are out there that, like, people don't even know about, which is, like, crazy.
Right.
And like, that business finance realm.
And that could turn into business, you owning your own business someday as well.
Business administration, management.
Exactly.
Like, there's so much stuff.
And then coaching, I mean, hopefully you get a car at school sometime next year, junior year.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have a car because Gavin's going to be at college, so he doesn't need one. And Rebecca doesn't need one.
Does he know where he's going to go yet?
No, he's heard back from some schools, but he's still waiting on, like, Ohio State, Syracuse, Binghamton.
He wants to go to a big school?
I think so. I mean, I actually don't know. He's gotten to like Indiana. He's gotten to UB honors. Some of those schools. So he just has to figure that out. He'll try to play club or intramural.
IU would be good.
I know. IU is a good school. Their business school is good too, and that's if he wants to do that. So
yeah, I mean, yeah. What about you after you graduate? Do you have any idea where you want to be? Are you okay staying around here?
I would like later on in life, I would want to come back here. I mean, I like Buffalo. I like the area. Like even Rochester, I would just live in Western New York area.
Yeah. Coach for RNY.
We'll see. Who knows?
Why not?
I know. I never said no.
You could do that.
I know. And then, but maybe at the beginning, right out of college, I would maybe a bigger city. We'll see we'll see what happens. Like maybe not right at the beginning I come back here. We'll just see what the opportunities are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pretty, think about your experience playing D3 versus everybody else's experience.
I know it's different.
Your completely soccer wise, I think you're in a better spot.
Yeah, no.
Than where some of the D1 players are. Mm-hmm. I mean, like you and Sam are probably, I mean,
pretty similar.
I think pretty similar and pretty. I think you're the most happy. Mm-hmm. Is that the? I don't know.
Sam was like kind of similar. He was like, he said he was like close to transferring. It was like
leaving Cortland.
He wasn't playing at all. And then he got the one opportunity, played like 90.
And then now
he's you just need one moment, and then he's like their midfielder.
Yep.
So.
And he's a sophomore as well.
He's my age.
And he played at Flash. I mean, I might get Sam in here sometime during the summer.
Yeah.
But, I mean, compared to some of the D1 guys that are in here,
yeah.
I mean, Max.
I know.
I mean, Max loved the school at URI. Is it URI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhode Island.
But he didn't love the soccer, and he loved the area, and he loved the school. Now he's at Albany, and I mean, the last time I talked to him, he's not completely happy.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Canisius guys.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom always says like, you made the right decision. Like you should be like grateful like that something like this went your way. Like I was like, yeah, I know.
I know. Because the girls were talking, they were talking about all of you guys yesterday during training, and they're like, "Where are all the boys at?" And I'm like, "Well, they don't want to train, and the ones that do is like coming off of mono, and they just want to play pickup." And I basically brought you up. I'm like, Daniel's the happiest one out of all of them. The other ones, I mean, you get them in here, and boy. If I got like AJ and Kyle in here, that's why I got that extra mic. It's like eventually I'm gonna have like you and Ben in here, and then I'll have like AJ and Kyle in here. And that's my hope.
The duos,
and just go all out and just like, all right, just tell me the truth.
A rant session.
Yeah, I mean, and oh my God, I think Kyle owes me some money because he bet that they would win over 5 games.
Oh God.
I don't think they scored more than 5 goals. No. But, hey, are you ready to train?
I am.
That is 47 minutes.
Solid.
Yeah. And we'll have you in again with,
or
I want you in again with, like, anybody.
Yeah.
Any of your,
I would
like,
do with anyone.
Colin. I wonder how Colin would be in here.
Yeah, I want Colin in here, too. That'd be hilarious.
So... But thanks for doing it.
No, that was good.
And I'm so happy for you, man.
I appreciate it.
I'm like, I think about everybody's experience. All you got to do is talk to Colin and Griffin.
Yeah.
And hear what they've gone through.
I know.
Versus, like, you're one of the success stories out of Buffalo.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm glad that, like, because people need to, if you could go back in hindsight and talk to 14-year-old Daniel or 15-year-old Daniel when you went to RNY, it's like, forget the D1 thing. It doesn't matter.
I know.
And look, you're going to be playing Canisius. I cannot wait.
I know.
And I think you're going to be able to compete with Canisius.
I know.
And they're D1 and you're D3.
Exactly. That's what
and because, I don't know. That's something that is going to have to change with the 28 rule.
I know.
Because there's going to be, what's 28 times, let's call it 200 D1 college soccer programs. There's 400 D3 soccer programs.
Wow, a lot.
There's colleges out there. Mm-hmm. I'm reading a book called The Messiah Method, and it's about the Messiah soccer programs. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they're basically the North Carolina of D3. And it said exactly that there's so many D3 programs that nobody even, like, they just stick their nose out. Usually they're hired academically.
Yeah, I know. There's obviously some D3 schools, like, that just, like, aren't at the level. Like, if you go to, like, Fredonia, like, you're not going to have the same level as Rochester. Like, there's obviously some D3 schools that, like, aren't, like, at the top level. But, like, there definitely are a lot that are high level and are very competitive.
How is Buff State so good?
I don't know. I actually
I'm having Johan in here next week
because they were. I don't think they were ever like that good at all.
And
then they were just
boom.
Really good this year. Yeah. I think that Ane. I think he's been here. Yeah, before. He played a lot. He was good.
Yeah, he's like the kid.
He's a lefty. I think.
Where is he from?
I don't know what team he played on, to be honest. He played at Amherst High School.
Really?
I think. I could be wrong.
Who is the other kid? Johan talks about him all the time, about, like, he could go pro.
Really?
Yes. Who is that?
There was a kid on Amherst, Adam Webster. He played on the BDSL team over the summer.
Yep. Are you playing BDSL again this summer?
I think I'm going to do the same. Because
what about...
I'm going to do RNY.
You're doing RNY?
I'm still going to do RNY. Because
if FC Buffalo?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Because it depends on the externship. Like, the externship is, like, throughout the day. It's, like, 8... I don't know. It's, like, 8 to, like, 3 or 4 p.m., like, thing. 5 days a week. Okay. And so I was planning on doing soccer at night or something like that.
Okay, what about RNY?
Yeah, RNY's at night.
RNY is...
There's some during the day. I would probably be able to go to, like, 2 or 3 a week.
Okay.
We'll see.
I see Buffalo with Sean Hollis. I think Sean Hollis is coming back. Mm-hmm. That might be good. But
yeah, I haven't even thought about it. We'll see.
I mean, talk to Max about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Max...
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Max, but Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Of course.
And let's go train.
Yes, sir.
I hate soccer.